I got 2 people on here. I didn't know if anyone was going to turn up today. Because it's the 23rd. Can you believe it? Kind of snuck up on me. I say that every single year. I'm not one to be prepared for Christmas because my kids are grown now. So it's not this pressure to get a whole bunch of stuff done with little ones. Anyway. Okay. So my name's Lisa. I'm a parenting coach. If you go in the link or my description, wherever you're viewing me, you can see my link, and it'll have my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course, and coaching. I'm a little bit stressed out. I've just been on the go all day, as you can imagine, with Christmas coming up. So, and I've been busy. I thought business was going to slow down. If I'd known it was going to be so busy, I would have got more done for Christmas ahead of time. But no, I procrastinated, and it serves me right. Anyway. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions if you have any. If not, I will move on to Instagram because, yeah, I'm kind of on the go today. I've had a lot of caffeine too. So anyway, so if you have any parenting questions, ask away. I'll give it a couple of minutes. And if not, I'll move over to Instagram. I'm also on YouTube at the same time. All of my platforms are Bratbusters Parenting. So I'm on YouTube, Facebook, obviously. That's where I am, right? Yeah, I think so. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. TikTok's my biggest one, then Instagram, then Facebook, then YouTube. So I start with the smaller one, smallest ones, but YouTube I'm on the whole time. This is a good place to be for these Q&As because Instagram lately has been my really busy lives, so I don't get to half the questions on there. But on here, because it's a smaller platform for me, I usually can answer all the questions, so that's a good thing. I get quite stressed out when I can't answer questions. Bothers me. I do my best here. Okay, so any parenting questions? Okay, how do I help this is from Arlene. How do I help my 8-year-old daughter regulate her emotions when I can't even regulate my own? Here's the thing, is when you're a leader, it tends to regulate their emotions because they feel calm and well taken care of and safe, okay? When you're a calm leader. If you can't regulate your own emotions, is it because of parenting? If so, I can help you. If it's other stuff, I don't know what's going on in your life. If you can't regulate your own emotions, you cannot teach your child to do it because they're not listening to you, they're watching you, okay? So you got to work on yourself. This is all you anyway. I teach leadership parenting. I don't teach leadership kidding or teenagering or toddlering. It's all about you. So if your stress, your emotions are as a result of parenting and you're really struggling, check out my coaching, or you can check out my courses or the free behavior board. That's completely free. Teaches you how to sort of get organized. You get a rule and a consequence for everyone in the family. Oh, I'm really agitated. I've just been this Christmas pressure. I've been on the go. Plus, we've had someone sick in the family. And so we're not too sure what's going on with Christmas because we've got to consider elderly people. We don't want to get them sick. And also my son's baby's due like now. So we don't want to get the mom sick either. So our whole Christmas is, we don't know what's going on. That's part of it, right? Do you like timeout areas? Oh, okay. You must be new here. I'll try and be gentle when I talk about timeout. The newbies I work with like to call it calm down area, but it really seems to be the same thing. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to try and be nice, but I can't help it. I hate timeout. I can't stand it. I think it's patronizing and mean and doesn't teach anything. Just teaches kids how to feel like crap about themselves while they're sitting in a corner all by themselves. I think it's awful. I don't do it. So just keep watching. I teach everything but that. No, I don't teach everything but that. What I mean is I teach what else you can do instead of that. So just keep watching. I know it's trendy. It's another way of absolving yourself of responsibility with parenting. You go over there because I don't even want to have to deal with you. If I'm disciplining a kid I want them right there. I don't want them over there. I'm not throwing them away. Hey, I don't even know what to do with you. Get lost, go over there. It's a real weak way of parenting. Yeah, I can't stand timeout. Have I made that clear? I've done a whole bunch of videos on this, and I got a lot of hate for that. So, of course, that's why I keep doing the videos. Anyone who knows me by now, especially on TikTok, they all know I love all that hate because that means I'm shaking things up. It means if people are coming after me for stuff that they really believe in, a lot, people who actually teach parenting too have come after me. That's fine. It means I'm shaking stuff up because I really hate timeout. There's 3 things that are really common that I hate. The one I hate the least is timeout. The other one that I really can't stand is diversion. Because it's when they're doing something bad and you divert. You never divert with broccoli. It's always with candy or so. Here's some candy, here's some money, So it's rewarding that bad behavior right in the moment. you're rewarding that bad behavior. The one I hate the most is the countdown. And when they're doing something bad, and you better stop that by the time I count to 3. So then they keep pounding even harder. So all they've learned is it's okay to be rotten in the short term, just not in the long term. Then when you say 3 and they go like this, break, stop whatever they're doing. Where's the consequence? Where's the lesson? There is none. It's just ridiculous. It just says to me that parents don't know what else to do and they're afraid of their children. The countdown method is a sign that you're afraid of your children. You don't know how to deal with it. So anyway, that's what I teach. Keep watching. If you go on the link above, you can hire me for coaching, buy my boot camp course, 3 to 12 years old, one of my mini toddler courses, or you can download my free behavior board. That's always been free. It always will be free. It's just free. So it teaches you how to set up rules and consequences for everyone in the family. Parents are very hesitant to hand out consequences to children. A lot of the time, not all the time. The problem with that is life is full of consequences. Full of them. If you don't pay your rent, you're kicked out. If you don't pay for your groceries, you go to jail. You know what I mean? Life is full of consequences. Don't you want to teach your children how to be accountable? I don't understand that. I truly don't understand that. Why you wouldn't want to say no to your children and teach them that there's a consequence. Because you're not doing them any favors. You're going to raise self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues. I said that 30 years ago when I saw the pleaser style coming in. I said, oh my God, we're in big trouble. We are in for it. They're all going to be victims. Here we are. I'm exaggerating, but I'm getting my point across maybe. Okay. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. I just did on TikTok. That's where I have other people who do all my platforms except TikTok. I do TikTok, which means you get the good stuff and the bad stuff. Whatever comes to my head, I throw on there. So, because I don't worry about views or anything. It's not how I operate. But anyway, so the other ones, it's curated. So they just take the best videos and put them on there. But I just did a couple of videos today, and I've got 2 more going up today on the Christmas holidays, how you manage the Christmas time. I don't remember which ones I put up, but anyway. So if you're interested in that, I've got some hints and tips on there on TikTok. They'll turn up here too, probably. But like I said, I don't do this, so I don't know when it's turning up. I can barely handle TikTok. I use it now. What do you use now? What did I say? What was I saying? The behavior board? I don't know. Also, something I'm doing differently. I've always called Christmas Xmas whenever I write it out. But some people are offended by that because it doesn't have the word Christ in it. You know what? I'm not religious, but I respect that. I can see that if you're very religious and I go Xmas instead of Christmas. So I'm trying to do my best. If I do an Xmas, that's just my bad. I'm not very politically correct, but I actually respect that. So I can see why people might get upset over that. Does that make sense? Yeah, I don't want to offend people. I can see why that would upset some people. I'm learning. Okay, I have a 13-month-old and I'm loving all your videos. Merry Christmas. Oh, thanks so much for that. I appreciate your support. Just keep watching. There's not much you can do at 13 months old. This stuff really kicks in starting at around 16 months. Before that, it's just sort of gentle no, and then it's consistent corrective action still, but it might be some diversion. So it's like, if they're doing something you don't like, you might sit in a corner reading their favorite book out loud. Oh, look at the fox went over there. The idea is they'll climb into your lap. So it's diversion, but it's not the one that I talked about earlier, where it's like, oh, here's some candy. It's what I call a disassociated diversion. Like you're not talking to them. You're just over there reading their favorite book. So it's a little bit sneaky, a little bit passive diversion. Ooh, that's a good term for it, passive diversion. Or indirect. I usually call it indirected. Passive, indirect. So I'm going to write this down. That's for under 16 months. Okay. The behavior board. Right. Okay. Thanks, Kayla. You know what I like about Facebook is, oh, are you a grandma yet? That's cute. You know what I like about Facebook is I get your real names. On TikTok, you get like weird stuff. I don't even know what that is. No, I'm not a grandma yet. Thanks so much for asking. I think that's why I'm on edge. I keep saying I'm pretty tough. Like I've never really been excited about being a grandmother. It's just because I love parenting so much, and to have to hand them back, like how is that exciting? You know what I've been doing? Every time I think about my granddaughter being born, I've been breaking out in tears. So I think I'm a little bit more excited than I like to let on. But yeah, it's due. I'm going to be seeing them tonight, but she's still Still in there, not out there. Grandma can't hold her yet, so it'll be exciting. Okay, let's get on with your stuff here. By the way, just a warning, I did get rid of my one session package. I have for coaching, I got rid of the one session. I'm really busy these days. I just can't invest in one session because there's a few reasons for that. I told people a couple of years ago I was going to get rid of it, and then people asked me not to, but I don't get to follow up. It's not as rewarding for me as a parenting coach to not be able to follow up with people. So I give them all this advice. I get panicky. I get take notes because I'm going to throw so much information at you, but then I don't get to follow up. I want to see what your strengths and weaknesses are. I learn a lot in the next sessions. So anyway, sorry about that. I got rid of it. It took me a couple of years to do it, but I did it today. And because I was going to do it for the new year. But yeah, I got rid of the one session package. If you were thinking about hiring me, it's gone. The 3 and 5 session packages. I need to follow up. For me to feel like I'm effective, I need to be able to follow up. It was always kind of frustrating for me. So anyway, okay, so parenting questions. Yeah, I'm so on edge waiting for this grandchild. I can feel myself. I'm all stressed. Okay, it's fine because the behavior board was great for all of my boys. The behavior board. Yeah, the behavior board. You know what? You don't want to hire me for coaching if the behavior board's already working, and that's completely free. You can start the behavior board 3 and above. You can start that on your own. If you're going to do it on your own without me, make it easy, make it doable. Start easy, start slow. If I'm working with you, I sometimes do, but a lot of times I don't. It's more about you, what kind of shape you're in. Like, are you really stressed out? I'm not going to push you too hard. But yeah, if you're going to do that behavior board on your own without coaching, then start small. Start with the easy stuff first, because you're going to be doing 3 of them. That's all you do. You do 3 behavior boards. Okay, what would be a good corrective action when a 2-year-old says poo-poo daddy mommy when he's upset? Poo-poo daddy mommy. Oh, I ignore that. Not much you can say to that. Yeah, just ignore it. If you give that any attention, that's just, he's going to say it more and more and more. I did 2 videos today. I was just talking about that. I'm just going to look at which ones I did. I was looking for my phone. It's right there. I'm using it. Which videos did I do? Okay, the ones that I put up was keeping routines during the holidays. And the other one was, the top 5 tips for visiting family with your toddler. That's on TikTok now. Keeping routine and structure during this time of year, and my top 5 tips for visiting family with your toddler. Those are the 2 videos I just did today. I've got 2 more coming out. They're already done. I just haven't posted them yet. One of them is do this with your kids' Christmas gifts, and the other one is how to handle family commenting on your parenting. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so those will be posted later. Look in the link. There's only one link, I think. I'm not sure how it's done. I don't do my Facebook, so I'm not sure how it's done. But there's a link to the behavior board, or if there's just one link, then the behavior board will be in there. So it's either on your own or it's in a group link. I know on TikTok and Instagram it's just one link, but I don't do my Facebook, so I don't know. But I do all my TikTok. That's me. Oh no, I don't do them all. I have someone sometimes posting in there too. But the only place I post videos is on TikTok. So I post everything that I want to talk about. Some of it maybe isn't that popular, like it doesn't do very well. So it might not be passed on to other platforms by someone else that does it. But I post whatever is in my mind, I post on TikTok. And it comes from you. All my videos come from you, either in the lives or in coaching or on other platforms. Okay. My 3-year-old has long tantrums, like an hour long, multiple times a day, ignoring him. I swear it doesn't work. Oh, an hour. Yeah, that's common. Did you try the tantrum course? The thing is that this is what happens, and it's kind of frustrating for me, but it kind of makes sense, right? When I say what it is that let's say you bought a mini tantrum course, one of my mini courses, and you get that right. But if there's other stuff that you're really struggling with, it's really hard to get one thing right when a whole bunch of other stuff you're really struggling with. So yeah, I'm just wondering what else is going on, is what I'm saying. Are you meeting their needs? If you're not meeting a 3-year-old's needs, ignoring won't work. What I mean by needs is, do they feel safe, loved? Obviously you're feeding them, housing them, but do you play with them a lot? That's one of their needs. They want to connect with you. If you never connect with them, maybe tantrums are their way of saying, I'm lonely. I want to be with you. I want you to play with me in my world. You don't connect with a young child in your world. You don't go to the nail salon. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. So potentially that's what might be going on. Okay. And also, if in the past you were feeding tantrums rather than ignoring them, they're going to get worse before they get better because they remember the old you. Okay. Oops. I have an 11 and 13-year-old. Teenagers are my favorite age. Are your strategies more for younger kids? What do you recommend? Oh, okay. What do you recommend for siblings who argue, tease all the time, and don't listen to parents? Okay. Check out my, well, you got a 13-year-old. Teenagers are all coaching, but they're my specialty, teenagers. But it's just, I only answer what comes up here. If no one asks me about teenagers, I don't talk about them. So, right? But anyway, they're my favorite age, is teenagers. But anyway, I don't really want to recommend the boot camp course for you because it goes up to the age of 12. I always like to deal with the oldest child. So I don't, if you've got younger kids, anyway. If you want to hire me for coaching, that's fine. Otherwise, try the behavior board. It's completely free, and just give that a go. If you like that, but you need more, I would suggest you hire me for coaching, because that boot camp course, it actually might work for you because they're just 13. You do have an 11-year-old. It goes from 3 to 12. Okay. But I don't have a course for teenagers. Hopefully in the new year, or maybe 2025, I might have that course ready. I thought about it. I've been thinking about it for years. But because I specialize in teen crisis work, so I thought, how the heck do I turn that into a course? And then I realized I don't need to do that. I can just talk about normal teen stuff, not the teen crisis stuff. So yeah, anyway, silly me. I don't know why I didn't figure that out 17 years ago. I don't know why. Because I've been doing this for that long. Okay. Takes me a while to clue in. Okay, how many people? Okay, 24 people in here. Okay, I'll go to 20 minutes. It's been 17 minutes. Then I'm moving over to Instagram. If you've got questions and you were thinking, ask them now and I'll answer them. If you do follow me to Instagram and TikTok, those are my big platforms and it gets busy over there. Whereas here on Facebook, I can usually get to all the questions because this is my smaller platform. So if you have any parenting questions, ask now. I'll be on here for like 2 more minutes. I've got a lot to do today, so I won't be on for the full 30 minutes on each one, just 20. Okay, no more questions? So if there's no more questions, I'll move over to Instagram now. But if you have any questions, ask now. If you're going to go over to Instagram or TikTok, those are my busy platforms. It's very hard for me to answer questions over there, all of them. 17-month-old, how to deal with tantrums, comforting or redirecting. You never comfort a tantrum ever, because that's like saying, good tantrum. I like tantrums. It's rewarding it. It's teaching them that tantrums are a good thing to do. That's what you're doing. They will survive being upset in their own little world, having a tantrum while you ignore them. But this is how you ignore them. You're like filing your nails right there. You don't get into a conversation with someone. You don't look at your phone. I think that's rude. You want them to know you're waiting for them to finish it. So you're just standing there filing your nails. As soon as they've done, you say, oh, you all done? Do you want to go read a book? You engage with them. You ignore the crazy, reward the calm. It's going to get ugly initially, yes, but it's worth it. When you get good at this, it's effective ignoring. It's not just ignoring. You don't just leave the room or anything. That would be awful. So yeah, make sure you're right there, but you don't look at them or talk to them, okay? And when you get good at this effect of ignoring with tantrums, they will diminish in frequency, duration, and intensity. But it's going to take, you have to invest in this. Okay, I got to get going now. I'm going to move over to Instagram. And yeah, if you're over there, I'm just warning you now, it's a busy platform usually, but it's like the 23rd. Maybe it'll be slower. So I don't get to all the questions is what I'm trying to say. So thanks so much for joining me, and check out my new TikTok videos. I've got a bunch of Christmas ones on there. So, and I've got a couple more coming up. Anyway, thanks so much for joining me, and we'll talk soon. Sorry, YouTube, I'm just moving over to, where am I? Instagram. Yeah. I don't know why, but Instagram is my busiest live, and yet it's my TikTok's my bigger platform, but they've been watching my lives now for a couple of years, so I think they've asked all the questions. Okay. Just waiting for people to turn up. If you have any questions on YouTube, I answer those too. My YouTube, I'm looking at it on my computer, but my webcam is up top, so that's why I keep going back and forth. Hello. People are turning up. I know it's the 23rd. Are y'all going crazy right now? You busy? Done all your Christmas shopping? I'm done with all that. I did that. I finished it. Geez, should I even admit this? I think I finished it yesterday. Yeah, I finished it yesterday. My kids are grown, so it's different. It's mostly just handing over cash and stuff. Okay, so let's get going with your parenting questions. If you go on the link above, you can check out my behavior board. It's completely free, or you can buy one of my mini toddler courses or my big boot camp course, or you can hire me for coaching. Anyway, sorry, I was reading a question here. Hire me for, not very good at focusing. I think that's why I relate to kids so well. I'm like a toddler in a lot of ways. I get very excited by things and I'm very easily distracted. I'm also very impressionable in my personal life. Not anywhere else, but with people I really care about, I'm very, oh, that's a good idea. I'll just follow them around. I hate leading. I want them to tell me what to do in my personal life. Isn't that funny? You wouldn't think I'd be like that, but I am. Yeah, I hate being in charge of my personal life. Can't stand it. Yeah, just tell me where to go. I'll be there. To tell me what to wear. How do you get kids to go to bed? Check out my bedtime battles course. It's a real system, like a process. So there's two parts to it. The first part is how to get them in bed. That's the easier part. The second part is how to keep them there. It can be one hell of a night. Just warning you, it can get ugly, but you got to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. Everyone wants the rainbow. How do we get to that rainbow without the storm? I'm like, have you ever seen a rainbow without a storm or rain? Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's part of it. You got to be willing to do the hard stuff. Kids will survive. You're the ones who suffer more. They're very resilient. Do you recommend alone time with kids? What do you mean? You're spending alone time one-on-one or them going off on their own? I don't know what you mean. So if you could just clarify that. Question, how to handle 2-year-old who is kicking mom. That I actually have a course on that. That is toddlers who hit, bite, etc. It's named something like that. Basically, it's just consistent corrective actions. Okay, so every time they do get violent, you say no, and then you push them away, sort of gently, you don't shove them over, but you just say no. You let them know, and then watch them like a hawk. When they go for it again, prevent them from kicking you the next time. But you got to be on top of that. Okay, it's got to be 100 times out of 100. Might take that many times to correct that behavior, and they might revisit it in another week or two. So be prepared for that. Toddlers are crazy. They go through stage after stage after stage. Don't try and figure them out. Just work with it. Okay, I'm going to read out my top 5 tips for parenting toddlers. Number 1 is child-proof your home so you never have to say no. Number 2 is set up a toy rotation system so they're never bored. I've got a new video on that on TikTok about how to handle Christmas presents. So you might want to check that out. Is that video up? I'm pretty sure it's up already. Anyway, number 3 is enter their world to connect with them. You don't connect with a little one at the nail salon. You go to the park and roll down the hill with them. They look at you differently when you enter their world. Number 4 is similar. When you're disciplining little ones, toddlers, you discipline them in their world. They're not about words, they're about actions. All these mini therapy sessions discussing big emotions and big feelings, it's a bunch of garbage. I was so frustrated when I saw that come in, and it became popular too, because it's feeding the mom's needs. It has nothing to do with the toddler. It's not effective. Number 5 is stop trying to figure them out. They're not figure-outable. They're brand new, fresh human beings. Imagine if you've only been in the world for 2 years, and for that first year, you were a potato laying on a mattress. Like they just got one marble and some tumbleweed. I always call toddlers crazy, but it's just that they haven't developed sanity yet. They might even go like this and smear poop on the wall. For some toddlers, that's completely normal. Okay, they're just forming. They're brand new, fresh human beings. Yeah, those mini therapy sessions. I remember when I saw those coming in, I thought, are you freaking kidding me? So stupid. Oh, that really annoys me. It's one of those things I can't help but eye roll. See, I got to do it now even. It's just so stupid. How to deal, like it's like expecting a toddler to find their inner adult. Let's have it. Toddlers do not need therapy sessions. They need actions. In their, you communicate with them in their world. It's not about you. It's about them in their world. They're going to listen to you a lot better when they know you understand them. They can't communicate on your level. You don't expect them to find their inner adult. It's so ridiculous. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm not going to talk about it anymore. Not right now, anyway. Maybe in 30 seconds again. How to deal with a 4-year-old who only wants to have a couple of bites or won't eat at all. We started skipping snacks. What else? I don't know what to tell you because that's a nutritional medical thing. So I can't really comment on that. But I will tell you that they do go through growth spurts. I know with my teenagers, they'd eat me out of house and home one week. So I'd go to Costco, spend like $1,000. And we had a Costco cupboard too, like a big walk-in cupboard. And it was just full of stuff. I also had 2 freezers, 2 fridges. I'd fill it all up and then they wouldn't eat much the next week. You can't figure them out. They're going through growth spurts all the time, up and down, up and down. So yeah, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know the answer to that. Maybe wait and see what happens. I don't know. If you're really worried, go see a doctor because I'm not a medical professional, obviously. Question about a 2-year-old, how to handle tantrums when she doesn't get her way. So in other words, tantrums, just check out my tantrum busting course if you're interested. That's one of my mini toddler courses in the link above. Otherwise, you completely ignore tantrums, but there's a way of doing it. It's a way of effectively ignoring them. You're standing right there. You don't leave the room when they're having a tantrum. I think that's mean. You're standing right there and you're filing your nails. And make it very clear that it's like you're waiting for a bus. No emotions. Don't look at them or talk to them. As soon as they're done, you say, oh, you all done? You want to go read a book? Or do you want to go to the park? So you ignore the crazy and reward the calm. They'll eventually kick. It works eventually. You got to invest in this, though. It doesn't happen the first time. It'll probably be even worse because they remember you giving them attention. And any attention is feeding a tantrum. When you get good at this effective ignoring, the tantrums diminish in duration, intensity, and frequency. But it's an investment. It takes time. They'll eventually peter out, though. Usually by 3 to 3.5, they usually stop having tantrums. If you get good at this. They might still have the odd one, but yeah. How to win a 7-year-old from sleeping alone, single mom. Yeah, you just got to like pull off a Band-Aid, say from now on, you're going to be sleeping in your own room. But I would have some kind of a reward system for that. Make it more fun. Get the galaxy lights or get sound machines or something that makes their room more engaging. Get them something to cuddle with, like, I don't know. But yeah, I don't know what they like, in other words. But yeah, make their room a little bit different, a little bit more special, and say you're going to be staying in there from now on. I do have a bedtime battles course. It's from 2 to 8 years old. You might want to check that out if you're interested. But otherwise, just those are a few other tips that might help. That bedtime battles course, it's a whole system. It's a process. It's how to get them in bed, how to keep them there. That's the hard part, how to keep them there. And the older they are, the harder it's going to be. Often, not always, but often, because they've had 7 years of sleeping with you. So, the longer you've been doing something that you want to correct, the harder it's going to be to correct, usually. How to overcome picky eating. I'm not a nutritionist or a doctor, so I really don't talk about that much. I kind of hold back on that. But I really catered to my kids' taste buds. I knew what they liked and what they didn't like. And then there was a whole bunch of stuff that I knew they liked. And also, if they didn't like something, I would puree it and sneak it into everything because I made everything from scratch. Handmade. You don't hand make a loaf of bread, you make it from scratch. I hand weaved some bread. Anyway, so yeah, I made everything from scratch. So I would sneak in pureed everything and everything. I remember the first time my son went out and had pizza somewhere else. He said, Mommy, it was really weird. The sauce was red. That's because people weren't pureeing spinach and throwing it into their homemade sauce. So, yeah. But yeah, I did definitely cater to their taste buds, but I was very sneaky. And they thought that other people's cake and cookies and bread were all really weird. That's because they were full of butter and sugar and all that stuff. Whereas I made all that stuff from scratch, and it was very different from what they were getting out there in the world. But also, when they went out, I say, have at it, eat whatever you want. They always came home with stomach aches because if you're not used to eating all that garbage and you come home, you're going to get a stomach ache, right? Like I eat really healthy, and if I eat anything that isn't unhealthy, I pay for it because my body's not used to it. But yeah. So really what I'm saying is I'm kind of like a toddler with my stomach. So, hey, my baby girl has diaper rash since the day she was born. She's 2 months old now, no matter what we did. I'm not a doctor, so I can't talk about that. I have some ideas, but I can't tell you because that's a medical thing. So yeah, sorry about that. But you understand, I'm just a parenting coach. I got no training about medical training or anything. So I wouldn't, but I have my own ideas, but I can't talk about it. Because if I told you, and it's, you get what I'm saying. Okay, our 2-year-old doesn't listen when we tell him no. When he eventually, no, they don't listen to you. That's right. So he's acting like a toddler perfectly well. When we eventually say it really strict, he starts crying. But okay, so yelling works in the short term because it scares them. You're working through fear. You're working with fear. You're relying on him being afraid of you. You don't want to do that. So what you do with toddlers is you use consistent corrective actions. Every time they do something you don't like, you say no, and then you correct it. If you say, we're going to be going, we have to get you in the car seat now. If he says no, I pick them up, I put them in the car seat, I wait till they take a breath, and then I fold them and snap them in. I only say something once. And if they say no or they run away, I take action. They're about actions. Their language is actions, not words. That's what they understand. So you don't ever expect a toddler to find their inner adult. Oh, I don't want to start on that again. I get on these rants with that stuff. Yeah, I don't want to do that. You've heard enough of that. How to handle 2-year-old kicking mom. Okay, I've already addressed this. I don't remember if I was on Facebook though. Anyway, I do have a course on that if you're interested. Toddlers who kick, hit, etc. Anyway, what you do is you use consistent corrective action. The first time they do it, you say no, and you sort of push them away. You let them know because they're about actions, not words. No just shows that you're taking action. It's just the start of, hey, I'm going to be taking action here. So the word no doesn't mean anything to them. It's just a sign that, hey, I'm taking action. So then you say no and you sort of push them away. Then you can just wander off and do your chores or whatever. Watch them like a hawk. When they come at you again or try and kick again, prevent it next time and say no. And then remove them from the fun or remove some fun from them just for a few minutes or whatever. There's got to be a message to them like that, hey, this isn't okay and it's going to hurt. Like you're not going to like what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the fun out. I might take your favorite toy away. But you got to do it right away. Like if they kick and they're holding their favorite toy, I would say no and I might put their toy away for a few minutes or whatever. There's got to be something that hurts them, something that they don't like. Every time they kick, something they don't like happens. Don't make it awful, just something, a message. But wait a minute, they connect kicking with something negative. Oh, that's a good way of putting it. All right, so I got to write that down. Connect. I say it all the time, but I'm going to figure out a nice way. Connect bad behavior with something negative. So they associate it. Oh, associate. Sorry. I got so many screens and keyboards here, and yet here I am handwriting. Why do I do that? Okay, good enough. What do I do if my 20-month-old is having a temper tantrum for not getting what he wants? I talk about this all the time, tantrums, and I've talked about them quite a bit already, but I'll do tantrums one more time on Instagram here. You can check out my tantrum busting course, but what it's all about is about effective ignoring a tantrum. So it's like you're waiting for a bus, you're filing your nails while they're in the crazy zone. As soon as they finish, you go, oh, do you want to read a book? So you ignore the crazy, reward the calm. You don't look at them or talk to them during a tantrum. Any attention is feeding a tantrum. It's like you're sprinkling fertilizer on it so it grows. So yeah, completely ignore them. It'll usually get worse the first few times because they're used to you feeding it. So they're going to think, if I get even worse, they're going to start feeding it. But yeah, just make sure you never feed a tantrum. Attention is tantrum food. And I get a lot of flack for this. And I love that because I'm shaking things up. And people say, but then you're ignoring their feelings. If your child could potentially be damaged by ignoring a tantrum, you got bigger fish to fry. You got more to work on than just tantrums, okay? If they're that fragile that having a tantrum ignored is going to damage them, you got way more going on than just that. So you want to hire me for that one. Yeah, if you can damage a child by ignoring a tantrum, there's a lot of other stuff going on. Should we have alone time with each child? So one-on-one time. Depends. Do your kids get along? If not, then no. It builds resentment in the kids. I know this comes up a lot in coaching. They'll say, I don't know why they all hate each other. I make sure I spend, alone time with each child. And I say, yeah, that's why they hate each other. Because they don't understand fairness with that. All they see is you're off with the other kid and they hate that other kid. Then how are you teaching them how to get along? If they don't get along, you always do everything together with them. And you play to the weakest link. You don't do competitive, you don't play Monopoly to get them to get along. That's all out war, right? So you do something silly, like you just go to the park and have the Olympics. You do somersaulting contests down the hill, or you play balloon tennis with them at home. Just fun, goofy stuff in their world. You play to the weakest link, the youngest one. Make sure it's something they can do just as well as everybody else can. Okay, it could be somersaults, hopping on one foot, or reciting something funny, or you can tell a story and each person tells a sentence, and then just have it interactive. That builds family unity. It helps their relationship. But yeah, one-on-one time, if they don't get along, that's why. You can do one-on-one time for sure. But so long as you do the other two, or they get along. So, yeah. You know how many clients I've had who say, I don't know why they hate each other. I make sure I spend, this day with that one, then we go do something special, and I'm like, that's why they all hate each other. But then when I point that out, they always go, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, it does, right? It's just common sense. But if you don't have experience with all this, you wouldn't maybe connect the dots. That's what I'm here for. Okay. 6-year-old is sassy, talks back and struggles with listening. Check out my boot camp course. That might be a perfect fit for you. Teaches you how to be a leader. Remember, it's not her. Her sassiness is just a direct reflection of your parenting. So work on your leadership skills and the attitude just improves. It's organic. You can't teach a child to not be sassy. You can set yourself up as a leader and they want to please you. You're like a mentor. You make them feel good about themselves. I wrote some notes earlier. God, I can't wait to do this. I wrote this down. I thought, oftentimes I go, oh God, that was brilliant. So I wrote it down. I was at the gym and I actually stopped in the middle of a set to write this down. Praise versus pride. Parents are so busy trying to avoid bad behavior by praising their children, but they're not giving them a sense of pride. Pride doesn't come from being told you're wonderful when you know you just kicked someone in the shin. It's ridiculous. They don't even hear you. But if you teach them not to kick someone and how to treat people well, they've got pride. So what do you want? You want to praise them or you want to give them pride? Which one is going to lead to good behavior? Pride. Praise does nothing. Nothing. Oh God. The only reason I didn't do a video on that today is I feel like I should even make that a course or something. It's such a big, big part of what I believe in. I believe in leadership, and leaders bring out the best in kids. You want them to like themselves. It's not about you. It's about, well, it is sort of in that you're a leader, but your whole goal with parenting is that they like themselves and they have pride in themselves. Children who are acting out have very low self-esteem. They feel like crap about themselves, and yet you're praising them. I know you're wonderful. Why you shouldn't do that? Because I know you're a wonderful little boy. They're like, they're not hearing any of that. None. Because they know in their heart that they just kicked you or told you to F off if they're a teenager and you're telling them they're wonderful. Like, it doesn't add up. They're not stupid. But yeah, give them pride in how they behave and how they treat people. And then that's how you get there. Anyway. How can I teach my young kids to stand up for themselves when they're so shy and quiet outside our home? That's role playing. That's social skills, bullying, stuff like that is all role playing. You role play at home what you want them to do when they're out there in the world. Teach them how to get along with other kids if they're really shy. And I'm going to tell you a funny story about myself when I was a kid about shy people. Teach them how to talk. So you pretend you're them and then they're the other kid. And you teach them to ask other people questions. Oh, do you like playing video games? And then get the other person to open up. So they don't have to talk about themselves. A lot of shy people are like that. Anyway, here's this funny story when I was a kid. I've never had a shy minute in my whole life. And I remember when I was a little kid, I didn't like shy people because I thought they were just unfriendly and mean. Because I couldn't understand why you don't just go up and say, hi, I'm Lisa. Hi, want to play? Like, I didn't understand why you wouldn't be friendly. My mom had to explain that to me. She goes, they want to do that. They just can't. And I didn't understand. It took me ages to understand that. How can you not just go up? If you want to do something, just go up and talk to people. I didn't understand that. So a lot of shyness is interpreted as being mean or unfriendly because you can't be friendly if you're shy, right? So, and I was an extrovert and very friendly, very out there. So I didn't understand that trait. So that's why it's really important to teach your children how to ask questions because maybe they can't talk about themselves, but they can certainly ask questions. The more that you role play at home, make it like theater, make it fun. It's not a serious thing. Make it fun. You can wear silly hats and have fun with it. But the more that they get used to being outgoing at home and asking questions, the easier it is when they're out and about. There's a very big difference between telling kids what to do and showing them what to do and having them practice it. I do that with my clients even. We role play a whole bunch of stuff. And they're really self-conscious at first, but I say, you have to say it like this. And so I get them to do it several times over, and finally they get it. But they have to do it several times over first. No, I won't give you an example. It comes up a lot. But anyway, yeah. So I do role playing and coaching when I'm dealing with people. By the way, just so you know, I deleted the one session option in my coaching. I'm really busy these days. And the one session I've been wanting to get rid of that for a couple of years now, but I was asked by people not to, because if that's all they can afford or whatever. But I'm on these lives all the time, so this is all my free stuff that I give away all the time. That's why I don't feel bad getting rid of it. But it was very frustrating for me just talking to people once. Where's the follow-up? How do I know if what I told them is working or not? Because you don't know necessarily, like if parents aren't going to follow through, or they might just tweak it and it just isn't working for some reason. So I want to be able to follow up. It's way more effective. So it's better for my business and for you if I do what's best for you. And being able to follow up with you is definitely best. That one session, it's gone now. But anyway, just did that this morning. It took me 2 years to do that. Isn't that funny? Okay. How do I handle 3-year-old boy late talker that whines? Whining at 3 years old, you can say to them, I don't like it when you talk like this. I want that. Say, if you say, may I please have, I will answer, because I won't talk to you when you whine from now on. Okay, you might have to say that a few times to the 3-year-old. Say, I will not talk to you. But if you ask me like this and show them how you want them to talk, remember, don't just tell them what not to do, show them what to do. So show them how you want him to talk, and then say, the answer may still be no, but I will answer you. Okay, so make it very clear. They're not just going to get whatever they want just because they don't whine, but you will answer them. So yeah, anyway, I got to move over to TikTok now. If you want to join me over there, that's fine. This, Instagram, oh shoot, I missed a whole bunch of questions again. I keep forgetting to scroll. I'm sorry, but on Instagram, this is my busiest live these days. I don't know why that is, because my TikTok's a way bigger platform, but they've been with me longer with the lives. I've been doing them for about almost 2 years over there. So maybe they've asked all the questions already. I don't know. But anyway, so TikTok's a little bit less busy. So hopefully I can get to more questions over there if you want to join me over there. Anyway, check out the link above. You can get my free behavior board, buy one of my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course, or coaching. As I said, the 1 session option is not an option anymore. It's just the 3 and 5 session packages. Anyway, so thanks so much for joining. Just because I got too busy and it's not as effective, I need to be able to follow up with you. Anyway, I'm going over to TikTok, but I'm still on YouTube. So YouTube's all the way through all these lives. Okay, YouTube. There's someone on there still, so I don't know. You haven't asked anything yet on there. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm on the right channel because I have a couple of TikTok channels. One is just my old lady fitness channel. I talk about health and fitness on there. It's not very exciting. It's more for me. Okay. And TikTok's different. Instagram, everyone turns up right away, all at the same time. It's like they're all at the same party and they all tune in at the same time. On TikTok and Facebook, people turn up slower. It's like it's fed out slower or something. I don't know. Okay. Oh, you're already asking. So you must have just come over from Instagram, right? This is Yuli. What can I do to teach my sorry if I said your name wrong. What can I do to teach my 3-year-old to not run away from me when we're out in public? Get a leash. Put a harness on them when you go out and you say, if you run from me, you're going to be clipped into this leash. Okay. Call it a restraint, a harness, whatever you want. Doesn't matter. But it's better than having them flattened by a bus, right? So it's a safety issue. And then keep them clipped in for the rest of that outing. Okay. Don't just clip on, let go, clip on, clip on. You have to be willing to go through the storm to get to the rainbow. So they're going to learn that, hey, wait a minute, if I run, I don't get loose for that whole outing. So you want to make it kind of effective, right? So if it's on and off and on and off and on and off, it's not going to work. And it's a safety issue. Don't worry about what other people think. Anyone who judges you for your parenting, who gives a hoot about them anyway? Just ignore them. Okay, so yeah, they're called runners, those kids who take off. There are 4 different things that they're either born to do, they're going to do them, or they're never going to do them. My kids, my son had tantrums. That was the only one that applied to my kids. But these are 4 things, not your fault that they do these things. But by the age of 3, 3.5, you should be able to sort of control a little bit better. One is tantrums, one is climbing, one is aggressiveness. They're either going to hit or they're never going to hit. And the other one is running. Running and climbing, often kids do the same, both those things, because they have no fear. It's that same kind of adventurous, I'm just going to take off. I'm just going to climb the wall. So they don't always go hand in hand, but they often do. So those are 4 annoying traits that toddlers get that you have it's not your fault they do them, but you can learn how to stop those traits. And also those kids who have no fear probably don't want to hear this, but they might be the athletes of tomorrow. So it's not necessarily a bad thing. And a lot of feisty kids are often the leaders of tomorrow too. So it's just your job to sort of corral all that in and teach them how to behave nicely. But a lot of really feisty, difficult kids often grow up to be leaders. So yeah, Don't get frustrated. Don't be mad at your kids because they've got annoying traits. Now they may turn into be wonderful traits later on. Okay. So, by the way, if you go on the link above, you can get my free behavior board, my mini toddler courses, my big boot camp course, or hire me for coaching. I deleted the one coaching session. It just wasn't working for me. I've been doing it for 17 years and I've been trying to get rid of it for a couple of years, but people ask me not to. I just got rid of it today. The reason is I'm really busy for one thing, and it takes me a long time to set up a new client. So that's part of it. But also, I need the follow up. I need to know, how are you doing? Like, I hate it when I just talk to someone for one session. I don't know how I want to talk to them again. So it's kind of frustrating for me. And, anyway, that's why I got rid of it. I just don't think it's super effective. It's okay. I throw a lot in. It might work, but I don't know. I want to follow up. So anyway, okay. So I've actually got someone on YouTube asking me a question. 22-month-old. I can't work home because my daughter needs my attention the whole time. She won't play alone for long. She's only 22 months old. You start play with her and then just sort of walk away as if I'm going to go do the dishes. Oh, I'm going to go get some work done. But that's a big ask, expecting a 22-month-old to play independently so you can work all day. That's a really big ask. So sometimes it's just your expectations are out of whack with a toddler. So yeah, but you can start the play and then sort of back away and hope it continues. But can't help you a lot with that one, because if they see you right there and you want to work and they want to be with you, it's kind of a difficult one. Hmm. 4-year-old is saying unwelcoming things, you mean rotten stuff, to his 3-year-old brother while being really sweet to 1-year-old. So he's rotten to one, great to the other. Well, they're awfully close in age. There's probably some competition going on there. But what I would say, I'd put it on the behavior board. No being mean or unwelcoming. You're very politically correct. Does it just mean stuff? Unwelcoming. I've never even used that term, unwelcoming. What does that mean? Anyway, let's assume it's mean. We'll just go with that. So no being mean to your younger brother. Okay. And every time he is, the younger brother gets to play with his favorite toy for 10 minutes, something like that. So check out the behavior board. And I think I used that example with hitting on the behavior board. I can't remember. I've changed it so many times. Okay. And if I miss your question, it's just because the way they scroll through. Anyway, okay. And I do as many as I can, but okay. So it's not a huge group. I've got 85 people on here, but not everyone asks questions. So I'll do my best I can. Okay. My 7, and I try and mix it up too. If it's a lot of the same age and the same type of questions, I'll try and mix it up. My 7-year-old son always has to have the last word. Okay, that's right fighting. That comes from, it's a learned behavior. They're not born like that. If you're a right fighter, that says to me you're a right fighter. Does that make sense? Do you know what I mean by right fighting? You have to have the last word, or you're competitive. There's a winner and a loser. That's same as right fighting, really. And I don't want to go on about that because I could ramble on about that one for ages. I recently had 2 clients, I think in the last week, that they were both right fighters and their kids were like that. They were very competitive kids, always had to have the last word in, would always walk away saying, in there, but it's a learned behavior. They don't come out of the womb with that trait. That's not one of the traits they come out of the womb with. That's a learned behavior. So you look in a mirror, think about how have you taught them that? Do you know about the gaps? I don't teach dieting. I'm a parenting coach, so I don't know what you mean. Or is that a kid thing? If it is, I don't discuss that. That's nutrition and medical stuff. I don't discuss that. By the way, if you see me on the street, come up and say hi. I can tell when someone's recognized me. You can just tell. So yeah, and then they'll send me an email later and say, "Oh, I saw you on the street. I come up and say hi." Don't ask me any parenting questions because I get a lot of that. But yeah, just come over and say hi if you see me. I'm in Vancouver, BC. So if you happen to be walking down the street and you think you see me, come over and say hi. My 3-year-old says I'm tired every time I ask him to clean up. Oh, have I got a funny story for you? I don't care if they're tired. Like, of course they're going to say that. They're going to say anything to get away from it. Say, well, okay, I'm going to tell you a funny story. My son was about 16, and I said to him, I noticed you didn't take the garbage out, sweetie. The garbage truck's going to be here any minute. So he said, Mom, he was 16. And I know I'm very respectful of teenagers. That's my favorite age, actually. And I understand growth spurts, and sometimes he would be absolutely drained. So anyway, and that's also, I think, the same time he was eating a lot too. So I thought, okay, he's just going through a growth spurt. I'm a kind mother. So, okay, I'll take the garbage out for you. Because he said to me, Mom, I'm so tired. I swear to God, I can literally hardly hold up the controller. He managed to play the game, but he had the controller on his lap and it was so heavy couldn't even hold it. He says, Mom, I'm just so wiped. I can't even tell you. He says, I slept for 12 hours last night and I'm just falling asleep here as I'm playing. And so I said, oh, my precious little boy. Okay, I gave him a little hug and I took the garbage out. Remember, he's 16. I took the garbage out to help him out. So I go back upstairs and I hear his phone ring and all I hear is, okay, I'll see you in 5 minutes. He yelled upstairs, Mom, I'm going to meet Ray. I'll see you later. Out the door full of beans. So yeah, they're going to come up with this stuff. And sometimes I would give into it and he actually was tired, but that was just a really funny story. I thought, ooh, I fell for that one. Anyway, he paid for that one later. We laughed it off and he did something extra that night. So anyway, so every time you ask him to clean up, use the behavior board and put down follow chore chart. And the chore chart is like, you have to do this and that, make it super easy, super simple. And you just get him used to doing what he has to do before he can do what he wants to do. Or you can use the as soon as method. And if he doesn't follow the chore chart, there's a consequence. Or use the as soon as method. If you say, sweetie, can you please clean up now? And he says no, but is it doable? He's only 3. Is it cluttered and chaotic? Or is it minimal and very easy to do? You set them up for success, not failure. That's why I like a toy rotation system, is it only has a few toys out at any given time. So when you say put your toys away, it's 5 toys on a bookshelf, like no big deal, right? Okay, so I'm talking a lot, but anyway, so use the as soon as method. If he says I'm too tired, I can't do it, say, oh, that's okay, sweetie, and wait. As soon as he asks for something that he wants, say, sure, as soon as you've cleaned up your toys. Use the as soon as method. So you're not actually telling them what to do. My kids got so used to that, they never asked for anything until they knew they'd done their chores or homework or whatever. So yeah, because I would have said, well, as soon as you've done your homework, sure, you can do that. So they got to the point they didn't even ask until they'd done it. They understood from a very young age, you got to do what you need to do before you can do what you want to do, right? That's what life's all about. You got to teach that to them when they're little, or else they're going to be self-entitled snowflakes with mental health issues when they're adults. The real world is going to be a real slap on the face to them. You didn't validate all my feelings. So I'm just the bus driver lady. Like, that's what you're doing to your poor kids. Raise them in reality. That's that pleaser parent style that's so popular right now. Yeah, it's a disaster. I saw that coming 30 years ago. It started with the participation awards. When I heard of that, I couldn't believe it. I thought it was a joke. I thought, they get an award just for turning up? Oh, yes, we like to reward them for turning up. Then I remember, it was funny because I saw an article in the paper and this mom, and it was, they were making fun of her, but she probably didn't realize this. She was mad because her kid didn't get a participation award. He didn't even turn up. So she wanted him to get a participation award for not even participating. Like, it's just the talk about self-entitled. Like, what are you doing to your kids? That should be labeled abuse. Anyway, when I saw that come in, I thought, we are in trouble. So that was 30 years ago. I'm pretty sure it was. Oh, it could have even been longer. Anyway, at least 30 years ago. Okay, 16-year-old. Oh, good. Teenage one. Teenagers are my favorite age. My 16-year-old daughter thinks she's grown and rules no longer apply. What do I do? Nothing works. Okay, they're my specialty, teenagers. If you want to hire me, check it out. If not, here are my top 3 tips for parenting teenagers. Number 1 is you listen to understand and show empathy. You don't listen to gather information to lecture with. They will shut you out. Okay, if they want your advice, they'll ask for it. By the way, they already know it. So you listen to understand, show empathy. I call it silent listening. Get good at it. I'm a talker, but I was good at that because I mentored troubled teens. That's where I learned that. Okay, number 2 is you negotiate pretty much everything. Hey, I want your dirty clothes in the hamper from now on. What do you want from me? It's not a blanket statement, but it's just an idea, something to think about. Number 3 is don't sweat the small stuff. Don't micromanage your teenagers. Save your energy for the big stuff, because if you do get the big stuff, you're going to need it. Okay, so that's my top 3 tips for parenting teenagers, or else hire me. Teenagers are almost always 5 sessions, by the way. Okay, hi from Holland. Hello, Holland. Have I been there? Yes. 2-year-old that doesn't want to brush teeth. Okay, just do it. That's one of those ones you have to physically overpower them, but it's not going to be done very well. If they don't like something, they think they can squirm their way out of it, they're going to get worse. If you say, well, I'm going to be brushing your teeth now. So if you say, time to brush your teeth, no. I always say, you say something once, then you take action. If my kids had said no to me, they really didn't, because they knew mom would be picking them up, holding them like this and brushing. No anger, just it's gonna happen no matter what, because mom makes things happen. When I say, because you have to do it. It's not something that you want to do, it's something that they have to have their teeth brushed. It's like it would be like if I said to a kid, "Well, you have to be buckled into your car seat." No. Are you gonna let them fly around the back of the car? No, you're gonna make it happen. So if you want them to do something that they don't wanna do, you have to make it happen. You can overpower a 2-year-old, but it's not gonna be a very effective toothbrushing. Don't worry about that. As long as the bristles hit the teeth, you've done your job. It's gonna be maybe some really bad couple of days with bad breath and not good teeth brushing, but they'll eventually learn. There's a few other ways of doing it, but that's my common method. I love how you think. I don't think. It's just experience. I've been working with kids for 52 years. Everything I say is just it comes out because I've been doing this for so long now. So 52 years ago, I started. Yeah, I don't really think. And it's funny because when I do sometimes, especially when I'm coaching people with teenagers, I have to think sometimes. But generally, it's just so many decades of working with kids. I just get them. I just understand them. And when I'm answering, it's always from what the kid wants, and not once. It's always from what the kid needs. Always. When I'm coaching, a lot of it is your needs too. By the way, with coaching, it's quite different. But anyway, but when I'm answering on here, it's all what the kids need. Yeah. Yeah, I have to hold my 2-year-old down to brush his teeth. He's so strong, it's a fight. If you let up, if you let him get away with it once, they don't forget that. You gotta make sure you follow through. Like when I said something and my kids saw me coming at them, they would have gone like right away because they knew it. And the funny thing is I never really did anything. Like so I never got upset really or anything. I just say it's gonna happen. So they kind of just gave in. They understood that. You should have seen them with their dad though. If they, squirming to get a diaper on them, yeah, they wouldn't squirm with me after a while, but they still kept squirming with their dad because they knew they had a chance of him letting them have a toy to play with, or which I would do too initially. But once they start squirming, no, there's no way I'm gonna. If I give you a toy, it's a bribe after that. He might even get them down off the change table. If I let you run around, then we'll change you. So they learn really quickly that when you say something's going to happen, it's going to happen. They just kind of give in. Okay. Actually, I got to get going. I got so many things to do today, Christmas time and all that. Check out, I just did 2 videos today. Anyway, check them out. There's 2 of them. I got 2 more coming up. They're all Christmas related. So check those out. And thanks so much for watching. And we'll talk maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure what I got going on. Our plans are kind of up in the air because we've had a sick member of the family. And we've got some elderly people to consider. And my son's baby is due now. So we don't want to make that mom sick either. So we don't know what we're going to be doing for Christmas. That's part of it, right? Christmas is crazy. Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Take care and check out those new Christmas videos. Bye now. And YouTube.